Ladies and gentlemen, GameStop exploded. If you haven't heard, you probably are going to get flooded with that information shortly. But why? Why did it explode today? What could this mean in the future? Where is the potential price target? And exactly why I bought it and am still holding it. I am Mark Melnick. This is the Newsbeat Show. There's a number of questions that I wanted to answer. Whoops, there we go. We're going to talk about today some very good questions. Why did GME explode higher today? Was there a reason for it? The answer is yes. Did something suspicious happen today that would cause GameStop to go up further? What can happen in the near term future or the near future of the markets? And how high do I think GME can run? Okay, so this is going to be obvious, obviously the $1 million question here. And I'm going to start off with the first question today. Why did GME explode higher? You see, it was actually posted through Barron's today, which is why it happened, and people started catching on to it. And I'm going to take you right over here to the article. And it's GameStop's January trading halt and the search for a fix. So they're talking about the Robinhood halting of buying these shares, and I'm going to explain to you exactly why it happened and why everything connects together. And by watching this episode, you're probably going to be in your immediate group of circle or friends, even if they're experienced traders, you're going to be in the know-how and you're going to know exactly why everything is happening. You will be the smartest person at the dinner tables talking about why this is happening. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you in. Pretty much there's something called the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, or the DTCC. And what it did was it announced today that it expects to be able to shorten the time between a trade. I'm just going to copy it for you. And what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to just simply post it on a notepad just to make it easier for you to read. We're just going to make it very easy for you to read here. And they announced Wednesday that it expects to be able to shorten the time between when a trade takes place and when it is finalized, also known as the settlement. You probably heard like, oh, stock settle in T plus 1, T plus 2, T plus 3 days. That's the settlement time. So the DTCC is the most powerful clearinghouse in the market. They're responsible for clearing all the funds, and it's where the majority of trades, um, are being finalized between the money to finalize it. Now, just going back to the issue here, if you don't know why, for example, that Robinhood um, didn't allow traders to buy stock, at least what they claimed, which I'm going to tell you why I think they're full of shit. And you could disagree with me, and that's fine, but I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm not going to ram anything down your throat and tell you to like it, but I am going to share my opinion and hopefully have you come to whatever conclusion that you want to come with. I just want to present you with the data. So, Robinhood, during the committee meeting, during the whole huge backlash that Robinhood had, what they literally said was that they and I'm just gonna copy it and paste it to show the excuse they made, which is again, I'm not judging. I am not a perfect person. I believe in forgiving and everything and charities. And we're gonna just remove the diamond hands there for a second. So on Friday, Robinhood posted a blog, and this is an older article, so it wasn't from last Friday. They posted a blog on one, I believe it was a few Fridays ago when they were doing the House meetings. The company explained it was required to keep a substantial amount of money on hand in order to process all the trades happening through its clearinghouse, which is the part of the company that sends shares and money back and forth to other clearinghouses to complete trades. Vlad Tenev, a very famous name now, is the Robinhood CEO, went into more specifics when he jumped on the Good Time show with Tesla CEO Elon Musk via the exclusive audio only Clubhouse app. So what he says is our operations receive a file from the National Securities Clearing Corporation, or the NSCC. They give us a file with a deposit, and the request was around $3 billion, which is about an order of magnitude more than it typically is. So what he's saying is because the trades were unable to clear in GameStop because it takes, it takes a couple days for the money to clear, they didn't have enough money on hand to have all these traders come in and buy. But this is where it's bullshit. Check it out. So basically they're saying at 3:30 a.m. Pacific, which is again 6:30 a.m. in the morning, that they received a file with a deposit, and the request was around $3 billion. See, what they're not mentioning is Robinhood does not have any issues coming up with $3 billion, and all the order flow that they sell to Citadel, amongst other firms, would clearly cover it. So the whole claim is that nobody from Citadel, who Robinhood sells their order flow from, and I'll paint it for you, and then I'm going to show you exactly why this is important and exactly what can happen with GME, and I'm going to explain it in as layman terms as possible. So you have right here. I'm just going to increase the font size. I'm going to explain it in layman's terms. That's what I like doing. I think, the simpler you can explain something, the better. You have Citadel, you have Robinhood, and then what you have is all the people buying on Robinhood's app. And you have three very simple groups over here, by the way. Okay? So you have that. So what happens is Robinhood comes over here to them, and they're like, we're gonna give you, free trades. We're gonna give you free trades, okay? Free trades we want to give you by being part of this app. We're gonna give you free trades, all the people buying on Robinhood app. Let's just get a little diamond hands things going here. We're gonna give you free trades. Now, these people are all smiling. They're they couldn't be happier. They're sitting here, they're like, oh wow, free trades, that's great. But Robinhood needs to make money. So what Robinhood does, and bear with me, I'm going to get into the meat and potatoes very shortly, but this is very important of explaining my point. What happens is they will take all the order flow from these people over here and they will sell it to Citadel. So they're literally going to be making money off selling that order flow to Citadel. You see, I find it funny. You have these firms out there, they're like, we don't sell our order flow. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, well, you're hurting your own traders by doing that. Yeah, maybe these companies can't front run certain trades. And maybe if I'm dealing with like million share, 100,000 share, depending on the symbol, of course, purchases, maybe that's a good thing. But for day traders and small time fish, you're managing an account like less than 10 million. There's no point in not having your order flow solved. And in return, this is what they claim, and I believe them. Citadel in return gives what's known as price improvement. And what happens is price improvement is literally defined of giving somebody a better fill than what's on the national best bidder offer. So if a stock has $100 bid and $100 25-cent offer, and somebody markets to buy on that $100 25-cent offer, but they buy at $100.20, that 5 cents that they saved was price improvement that Citadel offered. So it's like a circle sort of everything. But what happened in this situation is companies like Citadel, these guys unfortunately were stuck short. with the hedge funds and everyone. I'm not going to sit here and list everyone. All right, I don't want to. I know there's more people than them. I get that. I'm generalizing just to set an example. They were stuck short GME. They were stuck short GME. So what happened was, now this is what they deny. So this is hearsay. Citadel reaches out to Robinhood and says, "Hey, we don't have the money to clear your trades." But why is that a lie? Anyone want to guess why that's a lie? Because they had the money to clear Apple, Tesla, and all these other trades. So you mean you get to choose which trades you want to clear? And that was the unspoken part of what happened in the House Committee. Again, I'm not trying to paint anyone as a bad guy. I think there's a genuine need for people like Citadel, and they do make traders' lives much easier. All right. So that's what happens with the order flow. Now, going back to my point, this is going to show you everything that I'm talking about here. Now, what happened in the Barron's article is they say that they're going to be able to clear trades in a day. That the DTCC is going to be able to literally have real-time settlement. I'm going to copy it and paste it so you can read it, and this has everything to do with what I'm talking about here. So what happened was, this is coming out of the CEO of Robinhood, reacting to what the DTC is trying to do to solve this issue. They're saying it's T+1, which is basically is a one-day settlement, which frees up the money earlier, is a welcome stepping stone to real-time settlement, which is eventually, you'd have to be crazy to think we're not getting there. Tenev said in reaction to the DTCC announcement, all it would take really, you might say like, what's the big deal with all this money? The truth is, it is not a big deal. There is no big deal with the money. The US government could literally easily just say, okay, you have infinite amount of money to clear. You can clear as much as you want. We'll take care of any excess for you. Boom, snap your fingers, cost the U.S. government nothing, and everybody has real-time settlement. It could be a win-win situation for everyone. And remember, this is my opinion. So he's saying, Tenev, the Robinhood CEO, in reaction to the DTCC announcement, that they're going to try to reduce the amount of time for the money to clear. Now, you're probably looking back and you're thinking to yourself, well, why the F on earth is GameStop going to trade higher on that news? GameStop at the moment, it's $169. Why would GameStop trade higher on that news? Well, the thought is, just to let you know how people think, is that these companies are losing the ability to limit these traders from buying whatever the F they want. The small guys win on Wall Street. Do you understand? Don't fall for the nonsense of people talking about the fundamentals of GameStop. The company doesn't think they're worth. You think the board of GameStop is sitting there and say, yes, we should be a $170 company. None of them think that. None of them think that. Some good marijuana and alcohol is not going to make you think that. I mean, you have to really start hitting crack and extremely hallucinogenic drugs if you think that. Nobody thinks it. But that's not the point. Don't let anybody lie to you and bullshit you on CNBC tomorrow or any of these other financial news networks and say, the fundamentals of GME don't add up. Because those are the same putzes who came out and talked about what a worthless company Tesla was because they were unable to make money. Those are the same people. If those people had their way, Tesla would be bankrupt and would have never gotten to the point of where it is today. Okay, so don't listen to that. This has nothing to do with GameStop. We all know it's a piece of shit company, okay? And I'm a gamer. I love video games. I love what they do. I love walking in the store. It's one of the few stores I walk into. But we all know as a company altogether, it is a piece of shit company, right? We don't really think otherwise, but that is not the point here. The point here is the little guy felt empowered by the DTCC to literally try to potentially step up and make a difference. So what happened today in the Newsbeat room is a lot of us, I don't know how many hundreds of us, we bought GameStop today into the close. We bought options. And that is why I bought it today, because the interpretation of the news flow was very important at that point. The interpretation of the news flow was critical to make that decision. And that is why I bought GameStop today. That's why I'm in the options right now. That's why I'm coming in tomorrow long, stuck. I can't even sell it if I wanted to. That's another beautiful thing about options. Now I want to approach the next point of what I'm going to answer. Did something suspicious happen today? And that's going to be number two here. And the number two is yes, something suspicious did happen today. So if you look at GameStop here, I'm going to zoom in on it and I'm going to take you right when it got halted. And I'm just going to move my mug out of the way so you can see. So this is a 1 minute chart. Just ignore all my technical analysis and whatnot. If it makes it easier for you to see, I'll just pull up without all my lines and drawings here. I have one of these bad boys going. And and we're just going to add after hours. Okay. So this is what happened today. So what you do is you'll see like this flat line here in the chart, and the stock got halted here. The stock got halted here. And you might notice something weird because when it comes to a non-news, non-decline halt, I mean, people talk about the 7%, the 13% decline. No, when a stock inclines, when a stock shoots up and gets halted, it's a circuit breaker halt that's supposed to either last 5 or 10 minutes. Okay. Now I'm going to show you something. Here's minute number 1, 2. I could even screenshot it for you because something suspicious happened today, and there's going to be a ton of lawsuits against companies like. There's going to be tons. I believe there'll be tons of loss, and I feel bad for the people involved, and I hope it doesn't happen because I don't like seeing anybody get hurt ever. But I'm going to show you something right now because this is going to be the most screwed up thing. You're going to have lawsuits galore. Here's minute 1, minute 2, minute 3, minute 4, minute 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So right over here, what you see right over here is literally after 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard, after the market closed. So what happened was literally they halted GameStop for 14 minutes. Now, how do you halt something for 14 minutes? I thought it was only 5 or 10 minutes. The only way you could halt something for 14 minutes is if somebody in either, what is it, the NYSE or NASDAQ or whatever, somebody literally stepped forward and intervened in the opening of this stock. Now, you might say, again, I'm not trying to paint them as good or bad. I'm just trying to provide you the information and have you come to your own conclusion in the matter. I don't give stock picks, I don't give investment advice. I'm just come up with disagree with everything I'm saying. I'm fine. Not disagree, I mean have a different point of view from my point of view, and I'm cool with that. You can't disagree with the fact that it was halted for 14 minutes. That's, mathematical fact. So how did this happen? Well, somebody had to intervene and say, don't open it. We have to figure out what's happening. They're probably sitting there cursing with each other on the phone. I don't know what the bleep and bleep and bleep to do. Just open it, just open it. And they literally opened it, literally right after the market closed. But they were supposed to open it before the market closed. Now, why is that important? There are certain platforms out there that do not allow you to do pre-market or after hours trading. For example, one of them is Fidelity. So what if somebody shorted into that circuit breaker thinking it was only going to be 5 or 10 minutes, when in actuality, it was a 14-minute halt, which is in my 22 years as an active intraday trader, the only 14-minute halt I've ever seen in my entire life. You have a news pending halt, which can halt it for days or indefinitely, whenever they decide. You have a upside. Please note, it's different than a downside. An upside circuit breaker halt that's supposed to last 5, maximum 10 minutes. So what happened was there are people out there which you're going to hear about, and I'm telling you, and I don't know any of them. Thank God, and I hope nobody's, because I love people, I give to charities. I hope this doesn't happen to anyone, but I'm just explaining to you because it obviously did. If somebody literally went to this stock right now and shorted it right over here, if somebody shorted it right over here on this bar into the circuit breaker halt, thinking, well, it's at maximum, it's going to open up over there. And the worst case scenario, and the best case scenario over here. You're not really sure which one of these will, you're not really sure which one of these candles it will open, but you know it's going to last 5 to 10 minutes. Except it didn't, and it lasted 14. So right now there are people short at the closing price of that candle, which is exactly 91.64. There are people short GME at exactly that price. It's going to be like, you're going to be like, wow, that's a phenomenon to the penny. Exactly at 91.64 right now, who are looking after hours at $168.13 GameStop right now as we speak. And they could not get out of the position. And for those people, my hearts break. If you are one of those people and you show me proof that you were short GameStop for that hold at that level or within a range of that level, you can email me at mark@t3live.com. I will go out of my way to make your life better. If you are one of the people that got halted and you couldn't get out of your position because your platform didn't allow after hours trading and now it's gapping up, you know what's going to happen in the morning. You know all these brokerages are going to have to cover in the morning because a lot of people are going to have their accounts blown out. Could you imagine somebody on margin who shorted 1,000 shares of GME? How about 2,000 or 3,000? We're only talking about a $91 stock at the time before, the last open hour print. I mean, literally, the stock closed at 91.71, it shows, whatever, today. Those people's lives are destroyed. And they are destroyed because somebody in the back scene decided, and I'm not, I don't even think it was malicious. It's just a very unfortunate situation. I will go, if you are one of those people and you could show me proof that you were short GME pretty much between the $80 and $90 range today, I will donate money to you to help get you back on your feet. If you email me, show me proof and real proof, and I'm going to reach out to you, mark@t3live.com, I will go out of my way to try to give you some form of comfort and financial relief, because that is not your fault if you got stuck short. And I need you to know that right now. I need you to know that right now, that none of this was your fault. Now I'm going to go into the next question. What can happen? What can happen in the near-term future of the markets? What can happen in the near-term future of the markets? Well, if we start coming out with the settlement date changes, platforms like Robinhood aren't going to be able to use the reasoning of not allowing their users to buy more than 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5 shares of GME. Oh, we couldn't settle it. Really? But you could settle how many millions of shares of Tesla went through your platform that day? How many millions of shares of Apple and Amazon and Netflix, but you couldn't clear the GME? Really? You must think we're all like you must think everybody's an imbecile if you expect us to believe that. Because the dollars that you have for clearing aren't used to clear just one name. They're used to clear everything that goes through your platform. So you decided to select GME because it coincidentally benefited the people that you were selling order flow from. Or, I don't know. You said it didn't happen. That's me making it up. That's me making it up. I don't know, right? But the point is, they can't use that reasoning anymore. If the FTCC pushes forward with this T+1 settlement, you understand? So traders got excited that the forces that are trying to, in their minds, artificially, can you disagree? Maybe you do, can artificially hold these stocks down by manipulating rules and using excuses. They feel that that power that the companies have, like Robinhood and so many others, are now removed. Are now removed. So if nobody can artificially stop us, we have the right to buy GameStop. Just like we have the right to buy ABC and XYZ and Apple and Netflix and all these other stocks, we have the right to buy whatever the F we want. And nobody can stop us because the regulators' rules are promoting the little guy. Good for the FTCC. Good for the government for supporting the little guy. Good for empowering people to not be allowed to have this happen again. Good for them for doing this. I tip my hats to the FTCC and the United States government because they stepped up to the plate. And just when you hear that the government's so bad and they're this, that, they just went to bat for the little guy. And you know what the little guy did? They went right off to the races. And that is why GME exploded higher today. Now, what can happen in the near term future of the markets? You're going to have power bestowed. This emboldened Wall Street bets after they got smacked down, after silver margins were increased, and they weren't able to, when they basically manipulated silver to not allow it to go up by like increasing the margin requirement like 10 times over so you couldn't hold it. Like, just. So now, I'm not sure if silver is going to get the same amount of move, but companies like GameStop, you're going to see companies, I'll show you what's moving, all the Wall Street bet names. Companies like GameStop are up 67 points approximately. Movie theater chain AMC is up $2 after hours. Amazing clothes company Express is up 30% after hours. How about Palantir? Is that up? PLTR? No, Palantir. Palantir didn't do much because that's more, I guess, of a real company, but that was one that moved. But you'll see even like silver is down after hours, believe it or not. Because what the FTCC does doesn't change the margin requirement for silver. So silver might be the one that has the most difficulty. In my opinion, hindsight will be 2020. That will have the most difficulty moving up. So what can happen in the near-term future of the markets, going back to question number 3 here, is that literally these chat rooms are going to be able to goose stocks potentially. And you might say, well, that's not fair for, a bunch of virgins to gather in a place and literally, share a stock that they want to buy. Thank you, Eddie. A little tough. We got to loosen them up a little, Eddie. Can gather at a. I love you, Eddie. I know, seriously, Eddie. I don't know. Super tough crowd tonight, bro. Tough crowd tonight. What's going on here? Laugh. Some of you sing behind the screen like, I'm a virgin. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying, yes, the people in your Reddit forums are probably a bunch of virgins. But going back to you virgins, they can literally congregate within a room and like goose up a stock. You could literally goose up a stock. Now, I want to ask you, no, I'm not saying I'm for it. Honestly, at this point in my life, I'm against it. At this point in life and just decades of trading. But let me tell you what else I'm against. How about these analysts coming out, buying F tons of a company before having their analysts come out the next day and put a $200 target on something from 100, just making it up. We're raising our target to $200 from 150 on this stock. And then you come in the morning and the stock is gapped up huge. They could be up millions of dollars. So you're telling me that's okay because there's a multi-billion-dollar firm who's paying hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to an analyst to write something nice and raise a price target of something that the firm obviously already owns. That's okay. But the congregation of purity within one room to talk about a stock, that's not okay. Mm-mm. So I'm just putting things in a little. I'm not saying it's right. I'm against it all. Just so, like my opinion, I really don't give an F what my opinion is. Just so we're clear. I just want to explain to you what can happen in the near future of the market because there's nothing stopping it at this point. Now, of course, comes the $1,000,000 question: how high can GME? How high do I think GME can run? Well, I mean, it's at 168.13. It's officially closing there for the day. The all-time high on GameStop obviously was January 28th, which is literally like 3 weeks ago, where the stock hit $483. $483. So for me, the problem is, yeah, GME's. It appears there's a good chance it gaps up tomorrow. I mean, there's no more trading done for the day. Where can GME go? Well, at this point, it's kind of weird because the FTC's rule about clearing funds quicker hasn't come into effect. It's not officially passed yet. I'm all for it. I think the FTCC is doing a great job and they're addressing this situation of what happened exactly the way they should. And then, of course, you have Robinhood CEO who's agreeing with it. Of course, he's agreeing with it because he doesn't want to look like he's in the wrong, like he's not supporting what's good. So, where can GME go? The simple answer for me, I don't know. I'm not giving stock picks or investment advice. It could go to zero, whatever. There's no ceiling on GME. And on that note, there's no ceiling on anything. This stock could go to $500. And I know you might think you have some crazy in your ear, but think of it like this. I'm going to put things into a little bit of perspective for you right now. Imagine Citadel calling calling Robinhood on the phone. You have that billionaire dude from Citadel being like, um, we can't, what's that word? Clear your trades. And then you have the Robinhood CEO, that Russian sounding dude. He's on the other side of the line. he actually has an American accent, but it's much more funny if you do it in a Russian accent. He's like, listen to me. I'm going to limit the number of shares they can buy. Then they won't be able to go stock up for you. Another guy on the phone is like, thank you. We're going to continue to buy your order flow. Niet problem. I got you, broski. Comrade, we good. Don't worry about it. I take care of it right now. That conversation is not going to happen because they were just testifying. They were just literally testifying on TV. So that conversation ain't happening. So like people in these Wall Street bet forums, they've just gotten emboldened beyond belief. They are emboldened beyond belief. And in order for somebody, how are they going to do it? They already agreed. When they asked that guy, and he has an English accent, I know, but it's just funnier that way. When they literally asked that guy in person what he thought about having 140% of a short float, it was like, I don't really think it's a good idea, but it's maybe some regulation in future might be something we need to look at. And it was just like that. It was just like that. So, what are they going to do to artificially hold GameStop down? Are they going to short 180% of the open float? Robinhood is, and in my opinion, will not do shit with limiting people with the number of shares they can buy. Because if they do, my opinion, the company ends overnight. That's it. There's no more company, Robinhood. They dodged bullets. They were like literally during the House testifying committee, like he turned into like Russian Neo. Like the House committee was like this. The House committee was like, and he was like, I dodged this shit just like this, just like that. He dodged all the bullets. You do this again. You do this again where you're like, trader only buy 5 share GME because we can't clear it. Oh yeah, we clear $100 billion worth of Fang names, but just not the GME. They can't do that shit anymore. And if any of these firms are still short GameStop, they are going to drop a brick on the floor. Let me ask you, would you want to be short GameStop right now? Hmm? Oh, yes, Mark. It's not fundamentally sound. So, in terms of the timing of everything and how the FTCC stepped up, which God bless them, literally, the big government organizations sided with the people and not the big funds and not the big corporate monsters. And again, I'm a capitalist by heart, so I don't see them trying to make money. I don't I'm all for it. I'm rooting for them, but like no, nothing's gonna stop them. You tell me why, and put in the comment section. Do you think GME can run to $500 from here in a relatively short amount of time, weeks or week or 2 or 3 or 4? Do you think it can happen? I do. Now, I'm not saying it will happen. I guess I'm half betting on it because I have a position in GME right now based on all this information. And this is the beauty about news flow interpretation. You see, in real time, all I could say to my room is, guys, I'm buying this over here. And then, like, because it was right at the end of the day, but now I get to, like, sit down and really explain what was going through my head. And if you want to be part of that, if you want to be part of a room that, was, who focuses a lot on news flow and news flow interpretation and what I went over tonight in a real time setting, of course, not after hours. I mean, I'm running a room till 4 o'clock. I could only do these videos after hours, but if you want to experience it in real time, there are links in the description. Let me know your thoughts on GameStop. I'm curious whether you agree or disagree with me. I do surely hope you guys enjoyed the presentation and how I presented this information to you. Happy trading, make money. We'll see you guys next time on the Newsbeat live trading broadcast. Throw us a thumbs up if you enjoyed us here tonight, and you guys have a wonderful evening.